So, if you saw my last video, you would know that I'm making a Turnip28 army. And something that you can do in your Turnip28 army is choose a cult. Now, there are a variety of cults to choose from, but I thought the Temple of the Swellings was the one for me, because it just seems so obscure, with just a giant growth growing on the board, spreading its tentacles everywhere. So, that's the one that I chose, and that's going to be the craft for today. So I headed to Lowe's to get some XPS foam because that's what I wanted to create the base of the swelling out of. But then I was thinking, because I want it to be a potato, like a giant potato with eyes. So I had some pachinko balls laying around, and I was thinking if I could use those as eyes. Since the XPS foam was really too thin for me to do anything with it, I created these little circles that I was going to put on the hot wire cutter so I could stack them and kind of simulate a potato sticking out of the ground. With the base of the swelling done, it was time to use wood filler to provide like some texture and hide all the cracks. And as I'm looking back on all the footage of me cutting the thing, I'm probably should have just went at it with the hot wire cutter to begin with and not used the box cutter, but you know, this is how we learn. I also should have used the hot wire cutter after all three pieces of foam were stuck together. Now came one of the funnest parts of making the swelling, which was adding the eyeballs onto it. As you can see here, I'm just getting some green stuff, and I'm putting it over the pachinko balls in order to create eyelids and also connect them onto the swelling. So in this project, I don't just have to make the swelling, I also have to get some rootlings and also create, I think, 9 or 12 tentacles for the swelling, which act as dangerous terrain that it spreads across the board throughout the game. Just to provide some extra stability and also to make it look more smooth, I added some Mod Podge and covered the whole thing with it. Next was adding some texture paste for the base and going to my local game store to get some barbed bracken. With the barbed bracken now acquired, I could finally make the potato look more planty by adding sprouts around the top. Now I was going to add a lot of sprouts kind of on the whole thing, but at the end I just decided to leave 2 on the top to make it look more natural. It was finally time to paint this thing, so as the base coat I used some just basic craft paint that I got from Walmart, and I covered the whole thing, trying to get into every recesses and all that. Then this kind of proved to be ineffective, but I got some, some Vallejo and Citadel paints and started to dry brush various ones. This is also where we got our first injury, but I just kept dry brushing the different shades to try to get cool, like, earthy looks and textures. This is where I think I make the biggest mistake of my project. I have this Daler Rowney ink, and I combine it with Lamian Medium, and I didn't realize how powerful the Daler Rowney stuff was, so I thought it would add like a cool effect onto the dry brushed swelling, but it kind of just, did its own thing and dyed it a whole new color, which at first I didn't really like, but it kind of grew on me, so I just left it that way. I continued to do more dry brushing in hopes of trying to make it lighter, but honestly, I don't really think it made a difference. I put this Drucci Violet around the eyes to make it look more eldritch and alien, I guess, and I actually think it came out pretty well. as I was starting to get burnt out, I remembered that I had to do the 4-inch tentacles that this thing produced. So I quickly found some popsicle sticks and cut them into 4-inch increments, I guess, and got some green stuff, got some texture paste, and just quickly uh, created some. While looking over the footage, I couldn't find any more footage of the rootlings, so this is all I have of me painting them. Overall, I really enjoyed making the swelling. I thought it was a really cool project, and I got to use a lot of different resources that I usually don't use, like the wood filler and the hot wire cutter. That was the first time I ever used that. Um, but yeah, I just can't wait to use it in battle and use it in my next video, which is going to be all about a turnip event in Richmond, Virginia. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.